So, this is me saying goodbye to this house and this piano. She played like a goddess. Like, just, you can't believe it. And our first teacher was a guy called Bob Bowden. And he was a perfectionist. He would cover my hands with newspaper, and when I played a wrong note, he would hit me with a ruler. I soon learned not to fucking play a wrong note. But you know what? He was the first perfectionist I ever met. And in my life, I've met a few, I tell you. At school, playing rugby, playing music, and particularly in medicine and as a surgeon. And there's nothing wrong with being a perfectionist, and I ended up loving Bob Bowden. His daughter was in my class at Ironside. But he imbued me with my mother's encouragement of just an absolute love of music. And I did it until I did 6th grade piano, and then I just couldn't do it anymore because I was playing so much rugby and studying so hard, and I said, nah, fuck it, that's it. So I started playing Elton and Bruce, Stones. Fell in love with the Stones early, saw them when I was in 11th grade. They played at Milton Tennis Courts in the rain, and when Mick said he was going to stick the knife down my throat, I absolutely believed him. But I think, and they had great piano players, the Stones, but I think Elton and Springsteen were my favourites. And I think the first thing I ever learnt to play was this. And it just went from there. And I'll be eternally grateful to my mother. Just eternally grateful. I would sit here at this seat for just hours. And yeah, when I was old enough, there was something in the glass. When I was an Aussie boy, as a young kid, it was rum, it was Bundy. Now it's more likely to be Scotch or bourbon. It just makes you feel good. But this is a view I saw for about 45 years. When Mum and Dad got this beautiful piano, there was Grandma's really old cabinet and their clock, the vases, the view into the kitchen. And this is where I just fell in love with music, in this room. And I tortured my parents, I think. I must have played Thunder Road 1,000 1,000 times in this room. I kid you not. You can't always get what you want. Layla in particular. Just one of the piano coda at the end of Layla is it's just one of the saddest things ever written. And it just spoke to me like nothing else ever has, I think. That and Beethoven's Fifth Piano Concerto, which I couldn't dream about playing, but Mum used to play it from beginning to end on the upright piano in the lounge room. The Fifth Piano Concerto. And so I would sit there, I go, well, back then I didn't say it, but if it was me now, I go, how the fuck do you do that? She was just preternaturally gifted, and she gave it to us, and it stuck with me, and it's just an amazing thing. My dad wasn't totally hip, I'd have to say, but he loved Neil Young. He just loved Neil Young. And sometimes he would say to me, just play something Neil Young on the piano. It's hard to describe what it was like to be a pretty smart, internally tough, sort of fat kid who had big dreams. And then the first time, it was actually Mum who played it on the stereo. I don't know where she got it from, but these chords. Kid you not, with the help of my friend there, it just changed my life. I heard these chords and I didn't know how to play them on the guitar, and I was in Central Australia at Ayers Rock, and a little red-headed kid in our class, Jamie Murtry, had a guitar, and he taught me how to play bar chords. And so we all sat around, and all of a sudden, I could do those chords. And then I got home, and all I wanted to do was play that piano. And I don't know, there's something viscerally rippling about it. Pleased to meet you, and don't you know my name? And it's just one of the biggest fuck you songs of all time about internal power and strength. Really, this song changed my life, and it was all because of what my mother was able to give me. Just boom, boom, boom. And then this. Pleased to meet you. So it's really been an emotional day. Once I leave here on Wednesday, I doubt I'll ever set foot in this place again. And this house made me. My parents, my brothers, my sisters, and the freedom to be able to excel. It really came out of this house. So it's really, I guess, a love letter to my mother and my dad, but in particular to my mother, for her gentleness and for the music.